Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Type back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about why Joey Loperfido, Houston Astros prospect outfielder who can play center field and right field, needs to make the Houston Astros opening day roster. Joey Loperfido this spring has been the Astros' Corey Julks or Cesar Salazar of last spring. We saw Corey Julks and Cesar Salazar absolutely dominate last spring. And those were two guys who you really didn't think were going to make the roster, the opening day roster going into the regular season last year. But they played so well in spring that they did. And Joey Loperfido this spring has been that for the Astros. He has 7 RBIs. He has a batting average of .433, 13 hits, and only 30 at-bats. His OPS is over 1,100, and he's been fantastic for the Houston Astros. He's been good defensively as well. He'd be another extra center fielder for the Astros. I think it definitely would be the point where they'd have a lot of options at center field if Loperfido made the opening day roster, which I think would be not a great thing for Loperfido just because of the fact that that's maybe a downside in putting another center fielder out there. He can play center field, he can play right field, but here you have Jake Myers and Chas McCormick and even Dubon, who I don't know how much we'll see at him in center, but he can play center as well. You already have 3 guys who can play center. Now, 2 of those guys are, going to be playing a little bit of left field in Dubon and McCormick, so that's something to think about. Also, Dubon might be playing in the infield when someone like Altuve or Pena or Bregman have a day off. Don't know how many days off we'll see for those guys early in the season, but that is something to think about, that Dubon would be an option in the infield if someone gets a day off or someone gets injured. Pretty much anybody in the infield outside of Jose Abreu. But, so that's something to think about for the Astros. There's so many center field options. And then the other position that Loperfido plays, right field, you have a guy like Kyle Tucker who doesn't take many days off, rarely gets injured, so there wouldn't be a lot of room for playing time for Loperfido unless he's playing the DH position or he's playing left field, which I don't know how much we've seen him do that. But he's played that well at the point he deserves a shot. You have a guy like Greg Kessinger who is injured right now, and it's untold will he be if he'll be ready to start the season. And I feel like Corey Julks, someone who was so good last spring, and it definitely has maybe more of an advantage over Joey Loperfido making the roster, just because of the fact that, not only did Corey Julks is having another good spring, he's batting over .260, has 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and he also put up a good productive season last year. That's not the only thing why I think Corey Julks might have some momentum over Loperfido. Also the fact that Julks plays left field, and the Astros could use another left fielder. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see who takes that last bench spot for the Astros on opening day, because obviously you have the opening day lineup. You have your guys like Altuve, Jordan, Bregman, Tucker, also Abreu, Diaz, Pena, McCormick, and Myers. Those guys are going to make the roster, right? Unless any injuries happen. So those 9 guys are in. Then for your 4 bench guys, Dubon is a lock, of course. You would think Cartini, your backup catcher, he's a lock. So now that's 11 hitters. You got 2 more spots open at 12 and 13. John Singleton is probably a lock, being that second first baseman on the roster. So then that's 12. So then there's one last spot open. Kessinger is injured. You have Loperfido as an option. You have Corey Julks as an option. Who makes that last spot? I think it should be Loperfido with the success he's had. But at the same time, there's so many center fielders on this team right now with Jake Myers, Chas McCormick, and Mauricio Dubon. Does he still make the roster? And the other position he plays, Kyle Tucker, is at that position where we rarely see Tuck take any days off or get injured. So, but I'd really love to see Loperfido make this roster and see him get a chance, because he is a top prospect. He has played excellent this spring to the point where spring training is almost over and he's still on the roster. He's batting over 400. Let me know your thoughts on Loperfido potentially making the roster. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.